Ayan mga kameta, kamusta kayo dyan? Ah, Eto na, bagong buwan na. Tapos ng Nobyembre. This is it. This is the first day of December. A very blessed one to you guys. December is of course a very special day, a special month for us, especially tayo mga Pilipino. Although yung Burr months natin September pa yata nagsisimula, 'di ba? Anyway, it's a special month, it's a holy month, it's a family month. Kaya siguro I think it's time na yung approach natin sa mga ating mga vlogs, mga discussions among others should take a much more positive tone, no? Not yung pilit na positive but heartfelt, sincere, na constructive, positive, engaging. Kaya today, gusto ko lang sabihin dun sa mga umaasa na bardagulan tayo parati sa mga vlogs natin, especially in light of some of the back and forths between yours truly and some of the other friends and colleagues, etc. I just wanted to make clear that, at the end of the day, hindi tayo nandito para makipagbardagulan, para alam mo na, para ipakita na mas magaling tayo sa iba, etc. Of course, sometimes we say something foolish, sometimes we get carried over, especially sa social media, especially over Twitter, also dito sa Facebook, among others. So, the first thing I want to say is I wish you guys, whoever you are, kahit sinong sinuporta nyo yung last elections, kahit anong mga paninindigan nyo sa buhay pagdating sa politika, I wish you the best for this month. And I'm gonna keep this quite short because I have to head to a meeting, meet another ambassador, and then meet a couple of friends coming from Japan. Something I haven't met for years, so medyo I need to rush kasi traffic, di ba? At wala naman tayong driver, I have to drive myself, so pasensya na lang if I cannot make it as long and as dramatic as it was kahapon. Gusto ko lang balikan na mga kameta. Kameta talaga, no? And I noticed some people are trying to make fun of yung kameta term natin. And of course, unfortunately, it seems some people don't even get our sarcasm. Some people don't even get our sense of humor or light-hearted jest. And interestingly, some people are really obsessed with watching some of our videos and trying to nitpick here and there. Very sad, but then again, we're not here to bardagulan, to name names, or to fight with anyone. Honestly, I always believed in the value of engagement. I always welcome debates. I'm not scared of anyone on earth. I can debate with anyone, no problem. As long as it's topic that I feel comfortable with and topic that it falls within the realm of my not only expertise but within the realm of my interest, no? Kaya nga para sa akin mahalaga talaga sa isang demokrasya meron tayong matinong pagsusuri at pag-uusap sa mga iba't ibang mga issue, no? At tema na may malaking impacto sa ating lipunan, no? Um, Going back to this, I wanted to reiterate the nature of discussion we had yesterday because I think there's some misunderstanding that some of the posts I've had recently, especially on their Twitter, is necessarily about a person or group or whatsoever. But no, actually, it's based on a deeper reflection on the nature of our democracy, on the nature of our political opposition, on the shortcomings of our political opposition. In as much as, of course, we acknowledge serious problems we have with democratic deficit, with trapo politics, with political dynasties, with troll farms, with junk food bloggers. Given na yan, guys. Given na yan eh. Pero parati ko sinasabi, if you are standing for democracy or you claim to fight for democracy, for progressive values and a good cause, first of all, dapat may self-awareness ka. May self-awareness ka na you're doing this, you're fighting the good fight not only because of your ego, not only because gusto mo lang mag-virtue signal, but you're doing this because you truly believe in it. You sincerely believe in it. Because if you don't sincerely believe in it, once things are not going your way, whether in terms of political trends, or whether in terms of your relationship with some political leaders, whether in terms of expectation you had in terms of benefits you can get, wala. You're gonna get depressed, you're gonna quit. But if you truly believe, kung talagang naniniwala ka dun sa mga prinsipyo, no, at yung mga adhikain, no, na pinopromote mo as someone who says he or she believes in democracy or political opposition in the case of the Philippines, then dapat i-embody mo yan. No? So self-awareness is very important. And let me tell you mga kameta, pagdating sa atin, I make a lot of mistakes. Make a lot of mistakes in terms of, as any human beings, no? Human being. And sometimes, of course, we get a little bit, carried away. We a bit do partagulan, a little bit of trash talk. But how should I put it? You know what is the intention, right? The intention here is to have engaging discussion and things, no? And ako, I never shirked away from responsibility and also from apologizing when I think, I kind of crossed the line or I kind of was teetering around a certain, lines, so on and so forth. But self-awareness is very important. Kaya nga I don't mind apologizing sometimes because I recognize if I've gone a little bit the extra mile, no, in the wrong direction. So you self-correct. That's very important, self-awareness. Second, goodwill is very important. Goodwill is very important. Especially sa atin sa Pilipinas kasi napansin ko, among people, including in professional environments, rivalries, ego issues become big. And sometimes rivalries become unhealthy rivalries. Issues become unhealthy big ego issues, no? And that prevents people from having proper discussion and all. I'll say this again, and I've said this over and over again, mga kameta. I always reach out to colleagues and friends, even those who have criticized us, even those that I know are backstabbing me. I reach out to them as much as possible, sometimes multiple times. Even when they don't reciprocate, I reach out. Because I'm not scared of meeting people and having proper discussion with them. Because at the end of the day, friendship and human connections are much more important about our ego, our credentials, whatever. I mean, kung double digit ang H index ko or may PhD yung isa or ganitong title mo sa university. Those are, at the end of the day, those are secondary. Because what's important is how you make people feel. What's important is the goodwill you show towards people. And minsan yun ang sayang na napakakulang yung goodwill sa atin. And there's a lot of mistrust among others. But the third thing I want to say is this. We have to have the courage to confront some of our own biases, prejudices, and some of our own assumptions by talking to people who have different opinions, right? And that's the context within which diniscuss natin kahapon, guys. Yung itong napaka-interesting na interview na ginawa ni Christian Esguerra with two different supporters of former Vice President Leni Robredo. No, so sa isang banda, you have a very staunch supporter like our kaibigan natin yan, si Jover, who believes that Leni has done more than enough and she should be appreciated for that, and that people have to also think about anong contribution nila, hindi lang umaasa dapat kay Leni. And then you have other people like Mr. Sales who mentioned na mas in-expect sila kay Leni, etc. Maybe she can do better, na feeling nila na pag-iwanan sila, blah, blah, blah. No, so, but look at how the discussion was carried. It was constructive, it was engaging, it was sincere, no? And yun ang mga kailangan natin, guys. And it was fundamentally driven by humility. It was fundamentally driven by goodwill, no? And yun ang kailangan natin. And I'm so glad that we have folks like Christian Esguerra, among others, who are there for the greater good, no? Who are there to nudge people in the right directions without self-referentiality and making themselves look at hero like a hero or something like that. Actually, I have a lot of respect for low-key journalists like Christian Esguerra, among others. I think they have been doing an absolutely good job in terms of corralling different people, bringing them together and having that kind of conversation. And tayo naman, mga kameta, we have been trying to do that in our own small ways. Sometimes more successful, sometimes not. But at least we're trying to do that. Ang pinakaayo ko kasi, yung cancel culture. And the cancel culture goes both ways. Both ways. Napansin ko over the past 6-7 years, I saw a lot of supporters of the former president and some of the supporters of the current president. Although, medyo kumonti na yung mga, kasi, they saw what I give credit where credit is due. But I saw many supporters of the former president, including mga trolls niya, including mga bloggers niya, mga junk food bloggers. We're trying to cancel yours truly, among others, by trying to paint me as, oh, bias yan, blah, 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 blah. Like, excuse me, like, all comments I make are based on evidence, based on analysis, based on a certain framework. You don't like it, that's your problem. You don't like truth, that's your problem. Now, you want me to say it in a nicer way? Maybe, okay, maybe we can do that. But please lang, all right? I criticize all presidents. All presidents. As far as the ones that I discuss. Even Ramos was one of the better Filipino presidents. I discussed his shortcomings. Pinoy, God bless his soul, I also discuss his shortcomings. They're all, you can just Google it, right? Andyan lahat yan. So please lang, don't try to paint me as follower this or that, no? we always try to put things into perspective. Di ko na kasalanan kung mas palpak yung isang presidente kaysa doon sa isa, and by pointing out facts, ako pa may kasalanan. Okay. Now going back to this, there was definitely cancel culture there, whereby kahit sinong, basta even legitimate criticism, anyone that doesn't go with their cult, ng kulto nila, immediately they'll try to dismiss as bias, bayaran. Very rich for them to say bayaran to sa kabila, di ba? Alam naman natin what's the business, dun sa ibang Okay, and then, mabait tayo. And then, ito pa, sabihin nila, oligarch, di ba? Mga pro-oligarch, pro-ganyan. Nako. So that definitely was cancel culture. But we also had the reverse cancel culture. Especially after these elections, dahil napansin ko, marami sa ating mga kababayan, especially mga supporters ni Leni, marami sa kanila, of course, na-hurt sila. And I understand. I understand the pain, I understand the hurt, I understand the frustration. I understand it. I understand the grieving process a lot of them had to go through. I understand it. Lahat naman tayo ay, we feel for our country, especially when we feel the country is not moving in the right direction. Even if we may not be necessarily from the same circle or party, etc. I understand that. At the same time, ang point ko naman, not all, but there's some folks out there who are in this mood of, they just want to cancel other people all the time, including some people that they know very well share their vision of a better Philippines, a more democratic and free and prosperous Philippines. Why? Because for some reason, these people do not accept their version of what happened in the last elections. And napansin ko marami dyan galit sa akin because I happen to, have the moral courage and the intellectual strength, right? Or intellectual conviction, let's put it that way, to parang mali yan dapat sinabi ko, intellectual courage and moral conviction. Binaliktad natin. Ayun naman, okay. No, my point is, ako naman, despite how I feel about the situation, where it's international, local, etc., I try to be as evidence-based and data-driven as possible. I mean, imagine this, guys. Habang yung elections nangyayari and patapos na yung elections and once the result, I had to write a journal article for a very reputable journal of democracy, on the outcome of the election. So I had to be completely zeroed in on the analysis, get the facts right, get the analysis right. It was very, very difficult for me to do that. I had no time for emotional processing. I had to go there, not to mention checking hundreds and hundreds of papers of students. Hundreds and hundreds of pages of student papers, among others. So I had to be very sober, very strong. I had no choice. And of course, you're having all of these media outlets interviewing you. CNN, BBC, Al Jazeera, etc. I had no time to take a break. I had to be there, 100%. And I had to start to go around giving lectures, talks about elections. Medyo parang tayong progressive version ni Jordan Peterson, na parang I'm there to give psychological succor by trying to help people to intellectually grasp what was going on. Now, I don't know if some people are taking that against me because I have to be sober and zeroed in on facts and I'm saying, keep on going and going and doing my job, right? Because I have no choice. This is my job. This is my profession. I have to go there and analyze things. No. And more than that, I made it very clear. If you look at the actual evidence, you look at studies, if you really understand, pag naintindihan mo talaga yung kasaysayan natin, alam mo, blaming everything on disinformation is intellectually lazy. I'm sorry. And politically unproductive. Yung sabihin mo na, lahat yan dahil sa disinformation, you're missing the point. You're barely scratching the surface. Definitely disinformation is a problem. Big problem. And Leni was the biggest victim of misinformation and disinformation based on all the objective studies we saw. But you have to also understand, why are people more susceptible to disinformation? And that's where you have to understand institutional failure. Failure of educational institution, failure of state institutions, but also you have to understand discontent, distress, and the need for, and the yearning for disciplined governance. These were very real things. I call it disciplinary politics, especially yung suporta ng mga middle class and upper classes for Marcos and Duterte. This is something I analyze very carefully in our works, no? Which are, by the way, these are reviewed. I mean, they go through a process. Hindi naman basta-basta yung mga ideas niya. Um, so I think some people were not happy with that line of argument. In fact, I made that argument in a conference on disinformation organized by some of our friends. And I said, disinformation is a factor. But to say it's just disinformation and to kind of blame the voters, that's not right. That's intellectually lazy, that's politically unproductive, and ethically even questionable if you just make it about disinformation. You have to understand why are people susceptible to disinformation. In fact, there were studies that showed, you can find it online, that many people who supported Marcos did not necessarily believe yung mga Yamashita Gold and Talana and all of that. But they they were just angry and frustrated with what they believe was the failure of liberal politics, reformist politics in the Philippines. And that's an emotional situation. And that's an emotional situation that has to do also with real and imagined shortcomings of previous democratic institutions in our country. It also has to do something with our basic educational system not inculcating a critical understanding of history, yung kasaysayan natin, especially the dark days of the martial law. Super kulang, super kapos talaga yan sa ating basic education. There's more bashing of Aguinaldo in our basic education than a dictator, than the real dictator, etc. So these are institutional failures. So the question we have to raise is, ano yung mga kakulangan ng mga dating administration, including reformist administration, in enhancing our educational institutions? It also has to do something with regulation of libelous, sensationalized fake news. The anti-democratic, illiberal YouTube channels, yung Yellow Monkey Cage, whatever, they were there early 2010s pa lang sa YouTube. Nothing was done about it. And yung administration noon was not Duterte's administration, it was a different administration, right? So there are many, many failures on many, many fronts that explain why we are where we are. And to say it's all disinformation to blame the voters, I'm not sure about that. Now, I know this argument, as valid as it is, as much as it's backed by evidence and proper analysis, has made some people unhappy with yours truly. Now, my point is, you're not happy with it. I mean, don't try, and then you try to cancel me and try to paint me as not progressive enough, etc. Hello. I mean, I've been more trolled. I mean, I don't know. Easily, I'm among the most trolled, analysts, academics, whatever, out there, not only in the Philippines, but in the region, easily. I mean, it's easily. Just look at how much attacks I've been getting over the past 6-7 years by all of these bloggers, grabe, crazy. I'm not even gonna talk about the messages I've been getting, right? I'm not here to make drama and make myself feel like a victim or pamartir, gana. No, that's not how I do it, right? So please lang, before questioning my progressive credentials, make sure you had to bear even 10% of what I had to go through over the past 6, 7, 8 years, while at the same time continuing, fighting for sanity and proper political discourse. And look at it. The more I got trolled, the more I became active. The more I get involved. I didn't even have YouTube channel. I didn't have proper really Facebook public page until a few years ago. No? Napilitan tayo kasi sabi ko, okay, if this is how things are done, then let's go. Let's do it. Last year pa lang medyo naging vlogger mode na tayo because I'm saying, okay, you have to get the message out. You have to reach out to people. Hindi dapat hintay lang sila na at kung may cable TV sila, doon lang sila makita yung interviews mo with others. No? And you have to do it in an informal way. Kaya minsan rin ako na parang some people are misunderstanding some of our vlogs. I mean, obviously in my vlogs, I'm not gonna be as serious and academic and all as I am in my formal interviews. It's gonna be a little bit cheeky, a little bit, sutil, ganon. But come on, guys. I mean, come on. To try to overread into that, to read too much into that, I know, petty. But then again, we need to improve. Always, it's important to... Kaya ako, I'm always open to engagement, discussion, etc. Now, balikan natin itong issue na to. Now, so, nakita ko yung cancel culture is now even targeting not only yours truly, nakita ko even si Vico Soto gusto nila i-cancel because Vico Soto is not openly attacking the current administration or something like that. Like, parang, come on, this is ridiculous. Right? This is ridiculous. Kaya parati ko sinasabi, we have to focus on what we share in common. If we share in common a vision of better, more democratic Philippines, right, then I'm sure if yun talaga ang conviction man principles mo sa buhay, if yun talaga, then easy lang yan eh. Easy lang yung mga personal na hidwaan, yung mga ego trip, mga ganyan, power play. Wala yan. Wala yan. Trivial lang yan. But, if it's really about just your ego and yourself, then yeah, this is, diba? Then this is gonna be big issue. Right? So, anyway, my point is, we need, now na medyo, siguro people are, yung iba nasa acceptance stage na, yung iba medyo na process nila yung emotions and frustration nila. I hope soon, no? Especially after holidays, God willing, no? In New Year, etc. We will have more of the kind of discussions we had, or we witnessed in this case, as far as the Christian Esguerra interview with Sila Jover is concerned. I think we need more of that. We need more reflection. We need more self-awareness. We need more recognition of our shortcomings. We need to have more intellectual courage. We have to have more openness to alternative points of view. We have to be more open about engaging others and also apologizing. I always said, some people out there, they owe big apology to some other people for some of the salacious things they said in the last elections. You know, I'm talking about attacks on colleagues of mine, good colleagues of mine, like Ronnie Holmes, for instance, from Pulse Asia. These are people with utmost integrity, and I saw very salacious, very malicious attacks on him and his organization, etc., and methodology by people that who should know better. And I don't see any apology or recognition or mea culpa from these people until now. And then later on, you see, some of these people even attacking other colleagues later on. And then later on, you see they are even attacking yours truly. Parang, wait lang. Ano gusto mo mangyari dito? Diba? Okay. It's December. It's a holy month. In many ways, it's a special month. Alam mo naman tayo, we just want the best for everyone, okay? We're not here to try to prove anything, etc. We're here to engage. We're here to learn. And I really appreciate, guys, your comments, your suggestions, your stickers, your stars. No, and private messages you send me. I see it. I mean, especially the nice one. May mga creepy messages there. So please don't send me creepy messages, okay? All right, professional tayo, okay? Please, followers. I know mahal niyo ako, no, but seriously. Okay, please, okay? Hindi ko bubuksan yan, di ba? Ano yan, di ba? No. At pass, di ba? Yun lang, okay, I need to go na. Sorry kung medyo I'm not as coherent as usual kasi I'm thinking about I'm having to go, I'm checking the traffic, etc. Medyo konting distracted tayo. At the same time, I'm trying to be as constructive as possible. Ayoko naman yung bardagulan. You know, we had hard times behind us. 3 years of pandemic, very difficult elections, daming away, daming bardagulan. I just hope we get over the toxicity and bitterness and all of that, and focus on a constructive agenda that engages the voters, engages the youth, and not just them, not just our voters and support and folks towards greater confidence in democracy, in human rights, in sane and sincere discourse, no? And I hope we get over ego trips, ego wars, all of these things. And I'm saying that to myself, I'm saying that to everyone out there who may have issues with yours truly. Yun lang. Yun lang naman ang hinihingi natin. I know it's not easy, but it's a goal worth pursuing. Alright? Maraming salamat mga kameta. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. I really have to go. Wala tayong driver, traffic. Hi. Arigato.